March 12th, 2022. Halfcast 260, episode 260. Let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. An evening of reflection. Shall we? Woman shoots 70-year-old husband in the head while he sleeps. This is why, as a married couple, they tell you never to go to bed angry at each other. A 73-year-old woman in Oklahoma has reportedly admitted to shooting her husband in the head while he slept after thinking about it for days, according to police. When till death do us part is just taking too damn long. Speed things along a little bit. Linda Burton, 73, was arrested after calling police to her home near 17th and Olympia Avenue, Tulsa, on March 9th after allegedly shooting her husband. The Tulsa Police Department also issued a press release of the incident on their Facebook page on Thursday. On March 9th, 2022, around 3:15 p.m., officers were called out to a home near 17th and Olympia Avenue. The press release read, the caller, 73-year-old Linda Burton, notified dispatch that her 70-year-old husband was sitting in his chair with no pulse. Firefighters arrived and realized the victim had been shot twice and the shooting was not self-inflicted. While paramedics rushed the victim to the hospital, the victim reportedly said, I can't believe the bitch finally did it. What do you mean, finally? You thought she was playing this whole time? The victim underwent surgery overnight and is currently in a critical condition at the hospital. Burton was then taken into police custody and was questioned about what had happened. At the home, Burton said she took her husband's .380 handgun from his vest, went into the room, and shot him one time in the back of the head. Her husband, this is not funny. I'm telling you, this is not funny. Her husband woke up after the shooting, how? And confronted Burton and tried to grab the gun. According to police, the gun went off again, shooting the victim through his hand and into his torso. Police did not specify who fired the gun the second time. Detectives at the scene were also able to recover the gun used in the shooting. What is she going to get him for his anniversary gift? A bigger gun? Burton reportedly admitted to investigators that she had thought about shooting her husband for several days. She added that she was upset because she thought her husband had hacked her bank account. She did not have time for the part where she asked him and maybe he denied it and maybe they get into an argument. She just got straight to the point. After the shooting, Burton said she waited about 15 minutes before calling the police. She was asked if she provided any life-saving measures, to which she stated she placed a blanket on him, which is not life-saving measures. Linda was arrested for shooting with intent to kill, domestic assault, and battery with a deadly weapon. The Tulsa Police Department specified that at this stage, this is an arrest and there has been no conviction. Inmate walks out of LA Reentry program facility. Because prison time be damned, I am going to see the Batman. An inmate who is serving a 6-year sentence for second-degree robbery is at large Saturday after he walked away from a California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation Reentry Program facility. They say reentry program, but over here I think we call them halfway houses. Corrections officials determined at approximately 11:34 p.m. last show, Friday, that Daniel M. Canellas had walked away from the Male Community Reentry Program facility in Los Angeles without authorization, and an emergency search for him began immediately, authorities said. Canellas is Latino, 21, 5 feet 7 inches tall, and weighs 189 pounds. He arrived at the reentry facility on January 27th, 2022, and was scheduled to be released from corrections custody in October 2023. Anyone who sees Canellas or has any knowledge of his whereabouts is asked to immediately contact law enforcement or call 911. A 21-year-old 5'7" Latino is a very broad description. Elderly woman dubbed the hugging bandit pickpocketed victims after pretending to know them. Police said. The lady from the first article can definitely learn a lot from this woman here. You catch more flies with honey than you do with a 380 handgun. An elderly Florida woman is accused of pickpocketing strangers by pretending she knew them and while giving them a hug and swiping their credit cards and wallets, police said. Kathy Stevens, oh Kathy, nicknamed the Hugging Bandit by police, is being held in the Pinellas County Jail on more than a dozen charges from the Clearwater Police Department and other law enforcement agencies across the Tampa Bay area. Can you imagine being an officer and she steals your handcuffs, giving you a hug? Stevens, 65, allegedly targeted older men and would approach them outside of stores. Clearwater police said she would act like she knew the men, give them an unwanted hug, and steal items from their pockets. I guess at the big age of 65, you don't need the daddy. All you need is the sugar. In one October incident, Stevens allegedly walked up to a victim and gave the victim a hug while reaching into a back pants pocket, according to an affidavit. The victim told the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office that after the strange encounter, the victim noticed the credit card was missing from their wallet. So, what if you put your hands on what appears to be a very sweet old lady just trying to give you a hug and you're just violently attacked by a mob that thinks you're a monster? The victim had just used the card and said it was in a position in the wallet which could have easily been accessible. Kathy might be a lot of things, but one thing she is not is a goddamn rookie. The affidavit states the identity of the victim was redacted from the complaint. The sheriff's office said Stevens allegedly spent nearly $1,000 on the stolen credit card. She is said to be connected to at least 4 incidents in the Clearwater area. Police said it's not clear if she has obtained an attorney. There you have it, ladies. Learn a skill while you're young, and it will last you way into your later years. Human arm found in alligator's mouth prompts homicide investigation. What are they going to do? Bring it in for questioning, give it McDonald's, have it on first 48, make it give a confession without an attorney present? Law enforcement officials in Florida have opened a homicide investigation after a human arm was spotted in the mouth of an alligator when a biologist from the Florida Freshwater Game Commission visited the John C. and Mariana Jones Hungryland Wildlife and Environmental Area on Wednesday. That's a fucking mouthful. Morning, due to a routine patrol, they spotted an alligator. Despite this being the norm, there was one thing out of the ordinary: a human arm hanging from his mouth. Messy eaters, alligators can grow up to 13 feet long, with females being generally smaller than males. She noticed a medium sized gator with a human arm in its mouth, Martin County Sheriff William Snyder told Newsweek. So, what the story supposedly is, if you want to get rid of a body, you feed it to a bunch of pigs and the pigs will eat it up. There'll be no remains. So if you don't have pigs, the next best thing may be a bunch of alligators spread out over a few thousand acres of land. I'm just saying. The John C. and Mariana Jones Hungryland Wildlife and Environmental Area is a protected nature reserve that covers more than 16,600 acres in Martin and Palm Beach counties. It's a popular destination for camping, fishing, and hiking, and resides 7 miles west of Jupiter, a small coastal resort. She called the law enforcement part of that state agency, and they came out and spent all day looking. At nightfall, they did find human arm remains of a human being, said Snyder. Investigators from the Martin County Sheriff's Office were called into the reserve on Thursday. Detectives went on to find what appeared to be part of a leg located on the bank of the canal. We did not find another part of what we believe, and I'm waiting for the medical examiner to tell us is another part of a human. So that's where we were yesterday morning, and we spent all day out there looking for a lot of remains after that second finding. We haven't found anything, added Snyder. Alligators and crocodiles rip their food up. They can't really swallow anything whole. According to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, there's around 1.3 million alligators in Florida. Data shows that between 1948 and 2021, 442 unprovoked bite incidents have occurred in the state, with 26 of those ending up in human fatalities. Learn tonight, children. This investigation, however, is currently being treated as a homicide. Its overwhelming likelihood is it's a homicide, and we are treating it as a homicide. Now that we know something about the victim, there was no reason for him to have me out there, said Snyder. He wasn't camping, he wasn't fishing. So if he was murdered, which we really do believe that's the case, he was murdered out there or he was taken out there and discarded, which is what I think happened. The preserve has been closed since Thursday, and crime scene tape blocks off paths. Dogs have also joined the hunt for clues on the ground with deputies on ATVs, while dive teams also search the water. Now, investigators will work to reconstruct the life of the victim and figure out the circumstances of his life prior to his death. Fun show, fun show, fun show. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Adios.